Alright, so in this box is a little kid's bike that I'm going to turn into a more fun toy. Should be interesting. It's kind of sharp to get in the box. Yeah, it's small. Full disclosure, this is not the first time it's been out of the box. I did open it to charge it. And it's been charging for about 20 hours or so, which is maybe 15, something like that. But it has this tiny charger. It is a 1.2 amp charger. And it says charging can take up to 12 hours. And the ride time is only 25 minutes. So if you haven't guessed yet, this is going to get upgraded. I see a lot of people upgrading the Razor scooters, and this is kind of a knockoff of the Razor, but it has some kind of interesting features we'll get into. But let's take this apart and see what it's about. These cast wheels, which I think are kind of interesting. They're pretty narrow, so I don't know if they'll take bigger wheels, but I think it'd be cool to run some supermoto wheels on this. I see this uncomfortable for sure. Pretty sweet, huh?
It's small, but it's bigger than I thought it was, based on the box. So
The seats are really uncomfortable.
you're gonna have to replace the seat too.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Stella doesn't like it.
No, she hates it. Alright, so here it is. This is the little bike. And it is a little bike, man. This thing is small. I'm going to take those stickers off for sure pretty soon here, the number of badges. Yeah, so I got a speedometer app on my phone. So I'm going to go ahead, turn this bad boy on. See if I can see how fast she goes. Turn on the light. Oh yeah. Here we go. This thing is, I mean, it's slow, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now that I had a quick baseline, it's time to go ahead and tear this thing apart and start putting some cool things on it. Alright. So I've been modifying this guy quite a bit. So I've done quite a bit. One things I did is I trimmed the number plate so it looks a little bit better. I sort of temporarily extended the front forks by that much, so maybe like, I don't know, 4 inches or so. That may get raised up a little bit more, but the wheels are still a little bit small. I also mounted a Sur-Ron seat. There's a secondary controller there, and extended the swing arm 6 inches. And riser bars. I need bigger riser bars, but that's what I got for now. Like I said, the wheels are they're just a bit silly, so I needed bigger wheels. I thought about getting moped wheels. They seem like they'd be hard to mount. There's some other options. You can get like Sur-Ron style wheels or razor wheels a little bigger. These are 10-inch rims, so pretty dang small. But what I came up with is just use flat tire bike tires. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. We're gonna see how well those fit. This is what I got last night for $100, just because I wanted the wheels. I mean, they're super wide. These are 20 by 4.25. See how well that works. The rims look like they're in decent shape, which is all I wanted for this bike. Just have good rims. They seem pretty good. So let's get to swapping. This is the point I realized that the forks on that little electric bike were too narrow to fit the bigger fat tires. Just a quick note, the way I solved this problem was I got 20 by 4 fat tire forks, which I did have to get 190 millimeter axle for because the ones that came with the fat tire kids bike didn't fit. This axle was something I had to order. I couldn't get it locally, so if you're gonna do this, you gotta plan ahead. All right, guys, so I'm super excited to show this off. This is the little kid's dirt bike in its 1.0 stage. So I got a few things here that I want to talk about. I'm already planning on upgrading this, but this is the configuration and layout with the frame that I'm really comfortable and happy with. So let me walk you through everything I did to the bike. There's tons of stuff more to go with this, but I really just want to give an overview of what I've done so far. It's a really good stopping point. So first off, the pegs you'll notice are lower. So I extended that probably about 4 inches or so to make it, a more comfortable position for me to sit in. Extended the swing arm 6 inches. Got the V-Bore motor kit. I also upgraded that. I think it came with a 12-tooth sprocket. Right now it has a 9-tooth, so it has a better torque ratio. Still think I might want more torque, so I might go with the bigger sprocket in the rear. These are from bicycle tires, so those are 20-inch bicycle tires. Use frame that this came off of, and I also did some prototyping with using that fork. Speaking of forks, this is an air fork by a company called Bucklos. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. But there's not a ton of options for these 20 by 4 tires, even though I'm going strong with the 20 by 4 tire game. I already have a few other bikes with this tire setup. But I think these are cool because they came as like a street tire, which I think it just kind of looks cool and goes with how I'm going to use this. The handlebars are stock. What I do have here though is a riser stem, a 135 millimeter riser stem, actually 130 millimeter riser stem, and I got some sealed bearings for this. I did have to kind of weld in pieces, I just tack welded metal so that the bearings fit in here, and that seems to be holding up pretty well. So that was a modification I had to do. I also put bumpers so that the fork stops can stop before the forks hit the controller. Oh, one more thing before I forget. For doing wheelies and stuff like that, these riser stems, I got actually a couple of them, and they both had the same problem where they just had some play in it. And I think I eliminated that play. And what I did was I took it apart, put JB weld on the little teeth, and screwed it back together at the highest position because that's where I wanted it. So I think you could probably do that at any position. I also kind of welded on some metal because these are steel bars to get the perfect clamp on this. That's nice and sturdy. The seat is a Sur-Ron seat. Let's see here. I've done a lot to this. This battery is a stand-in battery. I have an order and a Moray battery, so that's coming. If you look closely here, you can see some alterations to the frame. I did chop a little bit out of this bottom section here, gusseted my extended pegs, and also the big modification I would say is I cut right here and flipped this top member up. That does a couple things. One thing is it allowed me to make this kind of cool geometry with the shock. I'll get to the rear shock in a second. But it also just helped me get more vertical clearance for batteries, so that's a good thing. This right here is not the controller that came with the Vivor kit. This is a 2,000 watt controller, and I got that because it seemed like I couldn't use the Vivor controller with the 48 volt battery, and this is a cheap battery. I think I paid 150 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. Would not recommend this battery. It's a BTR battery, and it uses polymer cells rather than lithium ion cells. So let's see what else. Oh, the last thing is this rear shock. This is a 750 pound per inch shock. I think it's a 165 millimeter eye to eye, and that worked really well with me with all the other alterations, including the 6-inch extension and the drop pegs. But really happy with this setup. I did change out the throttle and the 3-position switch. I wanted a throttle that had an integrated key. The one that came with it, I think, just had an on-off, and I didn't like that it didn't have kind of indication it was on. So this has, as soon as you turn it on, it tells you the battery voltage, which is a clear indication that the system is live, which I think is a safety thing. And then this is kind of on a separate circuit. But I'm using the stock cable actuated brakes. And right now the chain has a very basic tensioning setup where I stack washers on the back of the motor, and that keeps, because this can rock and give more tension to the chain, that's what gives us tension. Last night I was riding this thing and trying to do a burnout, and immediately the chain flicked off. You notice it's quite loose. I'm a little bit worried that the axle is bent, so I'm going to fix that up right now, and then we're going to take a ride. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll diagnose that, take a ride, and tell you how it is doing. And yeah, but I'm really happy with it. Very excited to do a couple more upgrades, but it's super comfortable right now for how I wanted it set up. And yeah, man, just look at this thing. It's just so stinking cool, man.
One thing I did forget to mention is I upgraded the plastic swing arm bushings with some real bronze bushings for the rear swing arm. I'm going to do a separate video just to cover what that conversion was like. I also picked up a razor as well. Stay tuned for that video. When that one's up, I'll leave a link in the description. This is just a quick little run to see how fast the version 1.0 can go, how it rides, and see what else I need to fix. Also, sorry about the camera angle. This was a chest mount, and I'm going to switch to a helmet mount on the next video.
chain came off. Dang it. Well, I will fix the chain. It's not gonna happen right now. I think the alignment is off a little bit. I think that's what's going on here. I mean, it's pretty fun. It has a little bit of torque, which I like. But it's definitely not super fast. We're on the flat here. Hit 30 for sure. I think that's where we're at, is about 30. The chain coming off is definitely a problem I got to solve. I mean, this does not feel super scary or anything, but I don't know, it's just not, and it's super fun. It definitely needs more though, in my opinion. But you can have fun on this for sure. If I got the chain fixed, this would be fun as is, which is really encouraging. I'm sure with the 72 volt system, it's gonna be scary. I mean, it's holding 24 uphill, 25. That's pretty good. Yeah, then the chain comes off. It's fun, dude. When I figure out that chain, I'm gonna have so much fun on this thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like Gen 1.0. I'm super stoked for the next gen. So stay tuned and yeah, hope to see you again.